The Superwoman Lie. Why your exhaustion is not a badge of honor. You know that feeling when you've been holding your breath for so long, you forget what it's like to actually breathe. That's survival mode. And if you're a Black woman who has spent decades leading, raising, holding down, carrying, fixing, and showing up for everyone else, you probably don't even realize you've been holding your breath for years, maybe decades. Welcome to Soft Girl Era, the sacred pause Black women have been waiting for. I'm LeAnne Dolce, pronounced Dolce, like sweet softness whispered in French, and I'm your guide from burnout to boundaries, from doing to being, from strong to soft, and loving every second of it. Recently, I had the honor of sitting down with Johna Hawk, a woman whose story is nothing short of extraordinary. Jonah is a single mother of three daughters who survived 13 years of abuse, lost a son, lost her mother, was relocated 800 miles away from the only home she'd ever known, and still found the strength to pull herself out of another toxic relationship alone. She built her home from the ground up, literally and figuratively, and she did it by refusing to people please her way through life anymore. Jonna's journey is proof that anything is possible if we believe it. And her impact on making the world a better place is undeniable. She's teaching women everywhere that self love isn't selfish, it's survival. She's showing us that softness isn't weakness, it's wisdom. And she's living proof that we can rebuild ourselves even when the world has tried to tear us down. Today, I want to share three powerful truths from my conversation with Johna Hawk that will shift the way you see yourself, your strength, and your softness. Let's start here. We are often our own worst enemy, not because we're weak, not because we're broken, but because we've been conditioned from the time we were little girls to feel less than, less worthy, less deserving, less enough. So, what do? We overcompensate. We hustle harder. We say yes when we mean no. We carry everyone's burdens like it's our job. We wear the superwoman cape so long it starts to feel like skin. And we're exhausted. Jonah Hawk shared something with me that hit me right in the chest. She said she spent years people pleasing, trying to prove she was enough, trying to earn love, trying to survive by making herself smaller so others could feel bigger. And it nearly destroyed her. But here's the thing, recognizing that pattern, that exhausting cycle of overcompensation, is the first step to breaking free. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. Once you realize you've been running on empty, trying to fill everyone else's cup while yours has been bone dry, you can finally stop. You can finally ask yourself, why am I doing this? Who told me I had to be everything to everyone? Who said my worth was tied to how much I could endure? Nobody. That's the lie we've been sold. And it's time to return it. Let me tell you about another woman who learned this lesson the hard way. Her name is Rebecca Higgs, and she's also known as the DIY mom. Rebecca is a Black Canadian single mother who went from indie musician to DIY renovation mogul after an unexpected pregnancy upended her entire life. Picture this, you're living your dream. You're an indie musician creating art, performing, building a career you love. And then suddenly you're pregnant. Your entire life shifts. Your music career is disrupted. Your finances are unstable. You're now a single mom in a male dominated industry, and you're constantly fighting the feeling that you're less than because you're a mother. Rebecca could have given up. She could have believed the lie that motherhood meant the end of her dreams. She could have spent the rest of her life overcompensating, trying to prove she was still worthy of respect, still capable, still enough. But she didn't. Instead, Rebecca did something radical. She embraced unapologetic self love. She channeled her creativity into DIY projects. She rejected people pleasing. She reinvented herself through curiosity, through embracing failure, through building value aligned partnerships. And she didn't just survive, she thrived. Rebecca launched Matriarch Productions. She starred in her own TV show. She became a household name in home transformations. She built a collaborative dream home with her partner. She turned her pain into purpose, her disruption into a dynasty. Rebecca's journey, like Jonah's, is a testament to the power of recognizing when you're your own worst enemy and choosing to become your own best friend instead. So let me ask you, where are you overcompensating? Where are you exhausting yourself just to prove you're worthy of love, respect, or a seat at the table? And what would happen if you just stop? What would happen if you put down the cape, took off the mask, and said, I'm done performing for people who don't even see me? What would happen if you chose yourself? That brings me to the second truth. Unapologetic, unconditional self love is the ultimate tool for success. Not hustle, not grinding, not proving, self love. And I'm not talking about bubble baths and face masks, though those are lovely. I'm talking about the kind of self love that says, I am enough exactly as I am, and I don't need anyone's permission to believe that. Johna Hawk built her home from the ground up as a single mother of three. She didn't wait for a man to save her. She didn't wait for perfect circumstances. She didn't wait for permission. She loved herself enough to believe she deserved a home, a life, a future, and she built it with her own two hands. That's not just resilience, that's revolution. Rebecca Higgs did the same thing. After her music career was disrupted by motherhood, she could have given up. She could have believed the lie that she was less than because she was a single mom. But instead, she embraced unapologetic self love. She said, I'm going to take this pain, this disruption, this chaos, and I'm going to build something beautiful out of it. And she did. Both of these women prove that self love isn't a luxury. It's not something you get to after you've checked all the boxes. It's the foundation, it's the tool, it's the key that unlocks everything else. Because when you love yourself unconditionally, you stop settling. You stop overextending, you stop people pleasing, you stop shrinking, you start setting boundaries, you start saying no without guilt, you start choosing yourself, not out of selfishness, but out of reverence. And that's when everything changes. Jonna told me something I'll never forget. She said, I had to pull myself out this time alone. And I'm proud to say I stopped pleasing people and built my home from the ground up on my own alone. Not because she didn't deserve help, but because she loved herself enough to know she didn't need to wait for it. That's the kind of self love that builds empires. That's the kind of self love that heals generations. That's the kind of self love that changes the world. Think about what Rebecca did. She took financial instability, the pressure of a male dominated industry, and the constant feeling of being less than, and she turned it into a thriving business. She turned it into a TV show. She turned it into a legacy because she loved herself enough to believe she deserved it. So let me ask you, do you love yourself unconditionally? Or are you still waiting for someone else to give you permission to believe you're worthy? Because you are right now, exactly as you are. And that brings me to the third truth. Anything is possible if we believe it. Johna Hawk said it herself. If we can think it, we can achieve it. And she's living proof. She survived 13 years of abuse. She lost a son. She lost her mother. She was relocated 800 miles away from everything she knew. She found herself in another toxic relationship. And she still chose to believe that something better was possible. She didn't just survive, she thrived. She turned her pain into purpose. She turned her trials into triumphs. She turned her survival into softness. And so can you. Rebecca Higgs did the same thing. She took an unexpected pregnancy, financial instability, and the pressure of a male dominated industry, and she turned it into a thriving business, a TV show, and a legacy. because she believed it was possible. Belief is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's the difference between staying stuck and stepping forward. It's the difference between surviving and thriving. And here's the thing, you don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to see the whole staircase. You just need to take the first step. Jonah didn't know how she was going to build her home from the ground up, but she believed she could. And she did. Rebecca didn't know she was going to become a household name in home renovations, but she believed she could reinvent herself. And she did. So, what do you believe is possible for you? What dream have you been sitting on because you're afraid it's too big, too late, too impossible? What if I told you it's not? What if I told you that the only thing standing between you and that dream is your belief that you can't have it? Because you can. Anything is possible if you believe it. But belief alone isn't enough. You have to act, you have to move, you have to take that first step, even when you're terrified, even when you don't know how it's all going to work out. Jonah took that step when she decided to stop people pleasing and build her home on her own. Rebecca took that step when she decided to turn her pain into a business. And now it's your turn. So here's what I want you to do: stop overcompensating to prove your worth. Start a daily practice of unapologetic self love. Journal one thing you love about yourself unconditionally, and take one bold step toward building your home, whether that's a literal home, a business, a boundary, or a dream, without pleasing others. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for perfect. Stop waiting for someone else to believe in you. Believe in yourself. Because here's the truth: you are not your trauma. You are not your past. You are not the lies you've been told about who you're supposed to be. You are the woman who survived, the woman who's still here, the woman who's ready to step into her soft girl era, not because she's weak, but because she's finally strong enough to be soft. So take a breath, a real one, the kind you've been holding for years, and let it out. Because your soft girl era isn't about doing less, it's about being more you, more free, more soft, more unapologetically, unconditionally loved. The world doesn't need another exhausted Black woman trying to prove she's enough. The world needs you rested, restored, and radiating the kind of peace that only comes from knowing your worth. So go build your home. Go set your boundaries. Go love yourself so fiercely that it makes other people uncomfortable, because that's how revolutions start, one soft, powerful, unapologetic woman at a time. This is your invitation. This is your permission slip. This is your moment. Take it.